A day like any other.
For 23 years, this has been a place of joy and camaraderie.
Until it wasn't.
They called Avery's name, so I got to go pick up Avery, but I'm like, where's Ainsley? And they were like, she's not here. I'm like, what do you mean she's not here? They're like, she's not here.
A catastrophic crash claiming 5 young lives.
But I had no idea that that was going to be the last time I saw her. I had no idea. And I wish that if I had known that, I would have hugged her and told her how much I loved her.
Now, 6 months later, a community coming together to remember and to heal. Chatham Strong.
Good evening, I'm Stacey Skryzak. Just 6 short months ago, tragedy struck the village of Chatham. A Jeep plowing through the building that housed the Why Not After School program, leaving an entire community grieving and 5 families forever changed. But tonight, we remember those children taken too soon, their light, their joy, and their legacy. 7-year-old Alma Bunner-Kempe was a people person, the girl who always had jokes up her sleeve, a bright, happy girl who dreamt of fame.
Alma, you ready?
Alma Bunner-Kempe was always up for an adventure, from crossing U.S. states off their travel list to trying a new sport.
She was kind. She had so much energy, and she loved being around family. She loved being around friends. She did not want to be alone. She had the most fear of missing out of any person I've ever met.
Alma was a people person, always making others laugh with her jokes and silly disposition.
Every night you picked her up and she was like, okay, what are we doing tonight?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, who's coming over? What are we doing? And she never knew a stranger. Like, every single year she would just march up to her teacher and like, I'm Alma. And it was just like, okay, well, like they knew what they were getting like right away.
But on April 28th, life would never be the same. Alma's mother, Billy, raced to the Why Not building after receiving word of an emergency.
And yeah, I couldn't get across the street because obviously there were, police there. But I saw, all the ambulances and the helicopter come in. And then, went to the church and sat there for, 2-3 hours just waiting after, all these other kids' names had been announced and were safe, but they never said Alma's name.
Their beautiful daughter, with that infectious smile, was gone. In the days after Alma's death, the couple made a conscious decision to share pictures and videos of their daughter, a special nod to the girl who always wanted to be famous.
She was always asking us like, well, who's more famous? Who's more famous? Like, is it Taylor Swift or is it somebody? And I'm like, it's kind of subjective. Like, I don't know how you gauge fame. And so we were like, she would be so mad if she had the opportunity to be on national news. And
we didn't.
And we didn't take it. So we were like, okay, I guess we'll do that.
As the months pass by, the family has found life to be a roller coaster, trying to balance the grief of losing a child with being present for Alma's brother.
Last week, we got his school picture, and it came in as an email. And his picture was so good. I was very excited to see it. I was like, oh my gosh, buddy, look how good your picture is. But then immediately after that, I was like, I'm never going to see Alma's school picture. So I immediately started crying. That's not fair to him. It was really hard. So it's just things like that like, they don't want to see their parent cry. And it's hard.
But with family and friends, the Bunner-Kempes have found that Alma's life will never be forgotten. In October, Michael ran the Queen Bee Half Marathon in Ohio, letting Alma's Queen Bee soccer team choose his attire.
I gave the Queen Bees a chance to like, what do you want me to wear? And so I ran a tutu the entire time and had, all their numbers and names and
lots of rhinestones.
Yeah, like a headband with their name on it. So they did a really good job of making sure that she was well represented.
The day of the crash, Alma was playing with her best friend, Catherine Corley, or Kit Kat, as her friends and family called her. The social butterfly had a love for life and for Taylor Swift.
Who are you?
Little Kit Kat.
Little Kit Kat. I love you.
Love you too.
Catherine Corley was a cheerful 7-year-old, always sporting a smile.
If, you were to meet her, she would have, I can assure you, within the first few minutes,
tell you her name is Kit Kat and cats are her favorite animal, she would have said Kit Kats are her favorite candy bar because that's her name.
Kit was the youngest of 3 girls, a social butterfly with a side of sass.
She's showing Aunt Fran her smolder.
But it's Kit's big heart that her mother Elizabeth remembers fondly.
I would pick them up from Why Not, and one day last year, Rose came in the car and she was like, they ran out of cookies for my lunch shift. You know, she was all mad, and, you know, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, Rose. And so like a week or 2 later, they got in the car and Rose was like, I got a cookie today, Mom. And Kit was like, I didn't take a cookie today because I wanted to make sure Rose had one. And that's just the kind of kid she was.
A compassionate girl gone too soon. On April 28th, life changed forever. Elizabeth overwhelmed with the incomprehensible tragedy.
I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep for a very long time. Just, you know, worrying, was she in pain? Was she scared? Because she was, you know, alone. So those just kind of thoughts, you know, it's just, you're like worst nightmare, and it just kind of keeps you up.
Family and friends rushed to help the Corleys in those early days. And as funeral plans were made, Kit's love for Taylor Swift took center stage.
So they knew what she loved and they just ran with it. We had people making friendship bracelets all over the state and getting them here.
It's no secret that Kit Kat was a Swiftie, so it's moments like their trip to the Eras Tour that Elizabeth will cherish forever.
My sister and I took the girls to Zurich, Switzerland to see Taylor Swift a few summers ago, and you know, at the time I thought, my God, we're losing our minds, but it was the most magical trip, and I'm so thankful that we did it because we have so many good memories.
As the weeks and months pass by, Elizabeth is finding ways to honor and remember her daughter, and with the help of the Chatham community, Kit will never be forgotten.
In the days following the tragedy, the village of Chatham rallied around those families affected. Chatham Cafe marked its 10th anniversary with a heartfelt gesture, donating all of its sales from the day to those families. The cafe announced that it raised more than $14,700, with $12,000 coming from sales and additional $2,700 from generous donations. Chatham schools were closed for several days to allow students and their families to grieve and process the unthinkable, a kind gesture from Glenwood student athletes as they hosted a morning of play at the park. The goal? To get their minds off of what happened and to try to start to have a little fun again. Since the tragedy, many organizations have held fundraisers for the victims, including the Chatham Fest, where more than $183,000 was raised, going towards resources for those impacted by tragedy.
You know, you hear about this stuff all the time on the news, but it won't happen to us, right?
She had a smile that lit up a room, and now life is a little dimmer for Ainsley Johnson's family. What they want you to know about their sweet child coming up. An 8-year-old with a bright smile and an appetite for life, Ainsley Johnson danced her way into people's hearts. Now her family's working to keep her spirit alive.
I'll dance, dance, dance with my hands over my...
Ainsley Johnson was a happy girl, her enthusiasm always on display, much like her signature smile.
So smile like Ainsley, because everywhere you see a picture of her, her smile is just so vibrant, and you just can't help but smile when you see her picture.
Ainsley had a charm and charisma that touched everyone she met, and she loved her family, often found cuddled up with her parents and her sister by her side.
She was my best friend. She loved all the things that I loved.
Like what?
Like art, soccer, dance.
Ainsley was a ball of energy, and her parents say she had an appetite to match.
She was like a garbage disposal. She would eat snack after snack after snack.
Yep.
Chips.
Oh, I love chips. Yeah.
Chips and candy.
Yeah.
I'm sure Frito-Lay's is taking a hit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Chicken nuggets was her go-to.
On that fateful day in April, Christy and Todd raced to the reunification site, ready to hug their two daughters.
They called Avery's name, so I got to go pick up Avery, but I'm like, where's Ainsley? And they were like, she's not here. I'm like, what do you mean she's not here? They're like, she's not here. So hours later, waiting.
Ainsley's name was never called. It was a blur for the Johnson family in the days following, the surreal moments of planning a funeral mixed with gratitude as neighbors dropped by meals and offered to help.
And a lot of the friends and family coworkers brought stuff over, not just for us, but for Avery as well, to help keep her occupied. Lots of arts and crafts and things to do.
And moms would bring their kids over to
Lots of
keep her busy, play dates, and it was very appreciative.
6 months later, memories of Ainsley can be found in every corner of their home.
We just miss her.
I mean, just doing the stuff around the house. She'd want to come out and sit on the writing board with me, do laps. Just
want to help me cook supper. Want to help clean. She liked to help bake. She just liked to help and do everything.
And helping others is exactly what the Johnsons decided to do. The family's honoring their daughter by creating a scholarship at Studio M Dance in honor of Ainsley.
And so we've already given our first recipient for this year, and we'll continue to do it as long as the funds are there.
Yeah,
It keeps her
anybody
memory
wants
alive.
to reach out for that, it's very grateful for that. It's to keep her memory alive.
Mm-hmm.
A family in grief, healing as they help others, making sure their daughter's light continues to shine.
Ainsley's classmate, Bradley Lund, was also in the gym when the Jeep crashed through. Bradley was airlifted to St. John's Hospital, but ultimately did not survive his injuries. But his family turned their heartache into hope for others.
We called him Bubba a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why or how, but yeah, he was our Bubba.
Yep.
We called him by formerly Bradley James a lot.
Yep.
You know.
Or Bubba James, yep.
Yes.
Bradley Lund was a teddy bear, a lovable kid who had a caring heart for others.
I would say it's the protector. You know, he would watch over his sisters. He always watched out for the quiet kid at school. You know, so he made friends with
everybody.
I don't know.
The second grader loved Legos and video games, anything that involved building. And of course, he loved sweets.
He loved candy and suckers. We still, even after he passed, we came home and we had done some cleaning, and we would find sucker sticks just randomly around the house, little bits of Legos.
Bradley celebrated his 8th birthday a few weeks before tragedy struck. On April 28th, Daniel and Cynthia were reunited with their daughter Nora, but Bradley wasn't there. They scrambled to find their son after learning he was airlifted to St. John's Hospital.
We walked into the ER, and someone recognized me and then instantly connected us to, John Doe #1 or whatever he was called at the time. So after a short wait, that seemed, forever, obviously, we were able to meet with the doctors, and they said he was still with us, and they were working on him. And
Bradley suffered multiple fractures to his skull and was placed on a ventilator in the pediatric intensive care unit. Day after day, they held on to hope, but after a month, their son faced grave complications.
There was not an opportunity to sort of fix what had transpired, and that's the point in which we knew it was then time.
we always said Bradley would tell us when the time was right.
Bradley passed away from his injuries on June 2nd. The sweet boy with glasses gave the ultimate gift of life through organ donation.
It makes me really proud, not having my son here, but knowing that he helped some other child makes me very proud.
In the weeks and months since Bradley passed, special mementos like these teddy bears are keeping his memory alive.
This is made out of my brother's favorite pajamas, and then this one's made out of my brother's favorite hoodie.
And while Bradley is now forever in their hearts, the Lund family has found comfort in the warm hugs of support.
We were always ones that gave time to our community, So it was challenging for us initially to accept all this grace from our community that was showering love on us. And it continues to today. I mean, we get random text messages and cards and just those little moments and let us know people are thinking of us.
And people continue to think of the Lund family. Bradley loved the Chatham Library. Over the summer, the Chatham Jaycees announced that proceeds from the Sweet Corn Festival 5K would be donated in his honor to the backyard at the library. It's a project where an outdoor space was created for learning, play, and connection. A ribbon cutting for the backyard was held in September. Another show of support as local business owner Ashley Hines began selling Chatham Strong t-shirts as a way to help the community heal. What started as a small project quickly grew into something bigger than she could have ever imagined. Hines received orders for more than 2,700 t-shirts in just 24 hours. All proceeds went to the victims' families.
I'm still watching the effects that this has had on the children. I had students that watched my daughter die, saw with their own eyes.
A counselor at the Why Not After School program, Riley Britton wanted to follow in her mother's footsteps and teach. Her lasting legacy when we come back. Riley Britton was the oldest of the crash victims. She was just a month shy of graduating and pursuing her dream of becoming a teacher. She worked as a counselor at the Why Not, something her parents say gave her so much joy. Riley Britton always knew she wanted to work with children.
Riley wanted to be a school teacher. From the time she was just a little girl, she just absolutely enjoyed children.
She was well on her way to achieving that dream as she became a student intern with Chatham Elementary, the same school where her mother teaches.
And she said, "Mom, we're doing it." And I said, "We're doing what?" She said, "We're teaching together." And she grabbed my arm and I just bawled. I was just blown away because in her mind, we were teaching together, and that's exactly what she wanted to do. She wanted to teach with her mother.
Riley was just weeks away from high school graduation. She split her time between wrapping up senior year, interning in the classroom, and working as a counselor at the Why Not After School program.
She loved doing the crafts with the kids and putting the bulletin boards together and doing the different paintings. And we've got little things that she'd bring home that the kids had made that she worked on with them still around the house. So
the handmade gifts are just one of the many fond memories as Riley would share her daily anecdotes with her mom and dad.
That once she started working with Why Not, she'd come home after work just energized and tell us all these fun little stories about what the kids did and the funny things they'd say.
On April 28th, like every other school day, Christine Britton said goodbye to her daughter as Riley left her internship to head over to her job.
See you after work. And she bebopped down the hallway and she waved at me like she always did. But I had no idea that that was going to be the last time I saw her. I had no idea. And I wish that if I had known that, I would have hugged her and told her how much I loved her.
Even in her final moments, Riley was doing what she loved, helping children.
There, I was told that the day of her death that she had organized a game of horse and was playing horse with the kids that were killed in this accident because they were in the middle of the basketball court.
Now, 6 months later, it's home videos and memories that the Britton family holds on to as the community surrounds them with hope and healing.
We felt the love and we so appreciated it. And our local church, the Ball Chatham School District, the people of Chatham, I mean, everyone was just, they were wonderful.
Riley's joy and kindness touched everyone she met, leaving behind a legacy of courage and inspiration.
The stories that people share about their experiences with Riley and how she affected them and the role that she played in their lives are so important and so comforting.
Less than 24 hours after the crash, Scoop du Jour opened its doors to Riley's classmates and the rest of the community. Friends, family, clubs, and perfect strangers came together to create well wishes for the victims' families. It became a place to grieve and share memories. 6 months later, owner Fran Abbott keeps this poster of thank yous in their kitchen.
That poster board is right in front of where I prep every morning and make all the donuts, and so no matter, if it's so early I'm really tired, or if I'm having a bad day, or I just feel like I'm done with this, I just look up and I just start reading those, and I'm like, this is, it gets me going through that moment because I realize this is why we're here.
Abbott says even 6 months later, people still want to know how they can help, showing the true spirit of Chatham Strong.
Alma, Kit Kat, Ainsley, Bradley, Riley they're never going to be forgotten by me. That's just not going to happen.
A building that houses a beloved after-school program and owners who make sure the spirit of those victims lives on. Tonight, they are speaking out for the first time. In the weeks that followed the deadly crash, the community celebrated the homecomings of those who survived. Leading the charge, first responders, and their desire to help didn't stop there.
In the immediate, the days and weeks that follows, we had officers that went to WICS, to visitations, to funerals. Our officers went and visited with families and students and kiddos that were still in the hospital. Some of our officers still keep in touch with them today.
The crash devastating not only to family and friends, but to those first responders as well. Chatham is a tight-knit community where no one is really a stranger. As first responders rushed to the scene, they didn't know who or what they would find.
Their strength and their command and their orderly and sane actions, I know they save lives.
That's Jamie Loftus. He and his wife own the Why Not building and built the after-school program together. In their first interview since the crash, the Loftuses tell me the program isn't just a bunch of kids, it's a family. They are grieving as they try to rebuild a sense of safety for those survivors.
It was a dream that came to fruition more than 20 years ago.
We came up with our own program that emulates the summers like we had when we were kids. Maybe more me so than you guys, but keep them active, keep them seeing things that they don't get an opportunity to when their parents are working.
Jamie and Mitzi Loftus created the Why Not Outdoors program, which stands for Youth Needing Other Things. And after years of summer camp, they found a need for an after-school program, something that's come full circle in the years since.
We've had 2 or 3 marriages.
We've had 3 sibling brothers,
yes,
right? 3
yeah.
sibling brothers who both, I think, 2 of them met their wives here as counselors as well. And now we're getting where the age is some of the counselors' kids now are coming.
But on April 28th, tragedy struck after a car crashed through the Why Not building as children were playing after school. 5 children passed away from their injuries, a community forever changed.
Alma, Kit Kat, Ainsley, Bradley,
Riley
they're never going to be forgotten by me. That's just not going to happen. I think about them about every 5 minutes.
As the national media convened on the village of Chatham, the Why Not name became synonymous with the crash.
You have no clue until something like this happens what can manifest afterward. And then all that community adds to your healing, and no one expects that anything like this is going to go away. You're going to take this to your grave,
Families and friends grieved the lives lost while the community came together to help the Loftuses rebuild so that children could once again play and heal.
We cosmetically wanted to change everything so that the kids, when they came back, they did not, see anything the same. So everything you see is
no retention
cosmetic
of a memory.
cosmetically
everything's
completely
a different color.
different.
While the interior of the building looks completely different, memories of the 5 children can be found throughout, including this artwork by Ainsley Johnson.
You're not prepared for this. You don't deal with this on an ongoing basis. You don't even graze this in a normal, spotless life. It's just, you can't imagine it. So we are doing good as, we're back in action, moving. There's smiles, there's laughter. There's a few extra scars from the hospitalized I see, but we're doing good.
Healing and finding hope as they never forget Riley, Alma, Ainsley, Bradley, and Kit.
They love this so much, we got to keep it rolling. We got to keep it rolling on their behalf, in their honor. These new trees out here, in their honor. The crosses, in their honor. Where we go and what we do, where they have been and where they have done the same thing, in their honor.
Plans are underway to install a memorial monument at Chatham Community Park to honor Alma, Ainsley, Kit, Bradley, and Riley. The project aims to create a lasting place of remembrance and reflection for the community. Anyone wishing to donate may do so through the Chatham Memorial Project Fund at United Community Bank in Chatham.
Me personally, my daughter she's a 2nd grader now. Miss Riley was her student teacher last year.
Tragedy strikes too close to home for Chatham Police. How one veteran officer is helping not only his own daughter, but a district full of students. Just 2 days after the deadly crash, the Glenwood High School Senior Council organized a vigil for their classmate Riley Britton and the other victims of the crash. Chatham police officer David Leach was asked to speak at that vigil. 6 months later, it isn't any easier to talk about.
In the small community of Chatham, everyone knows someone impacted by the tragedy.
You guys have kids that go here. A lot of our officers have personal connections to families. For me personally, my daughter she's a 2nd grader now. Miss Riley was her student teacher last year. So for personal connection, that was our connection to the Britton family. So that hit home for us, but every one of our officers was touched in one way or another by that.
Officer David Leach and the Chatham Police Department played a pivotal role in those moments after the crash and the days following. As plans to honor the victims were set into place, Officer Leach was asked to speak at the vigil at Glenwood High School.
They have you speak at that. And my first response was, I don't know if I could do this. That's a lot. But then I thought, you know what? Maybe I can help our community grieve, and I can help support our community through words of a speech. So I said a prayer, and I kind of locked myself in a room. I just started typing, and the words just kind of came out.
His heartfelt words giving much needed hope to a community that was hurting. And as those connected to the tragedy continue to heal, those 5 precious lives will always be in their hearts.
So my little girl still asks, sometimes she'll ask, what do you think Miss Riley's doing? How do you think she's doing now? I said, well, look up. You can probably see her. You look hard enough. She's there looking down at us.
Alma Bunner-Kempe, Catherine Corley, Ainsley Johnson, Bradley Lund, Riley Britton, 5 souls gone too soon, 5 spirits that will never be forgotten. Thank you for joining us as we honor these children and their families, as well as the Chatham community. Good night.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more videos from News Channel 20.